Are you struggling to get the type of results you're looking for using Facebook ads? Maybe you have a high cost per lead, or maybe you're not getting any leads at all. Most of the time, it comes down to improper targeting that you have in your Facebook ad account. And many landscapers make these top 5 mistakes in this video that I'm going to break down for you. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to fix your targeting and what's working right now in 2025 for landscapers. What's going on, guys? This is Matt Thibeau here with Savant Marketing Agency. And in this video, we're going to break down the top 5 mistakes that landscapers make using Facebook ad targeting. And I'm going to show you what to do instead to turn things around for your Facebook ads. So let's jump right into things here. So number one mistake that most landscapers make when they are running Facebook ads for their business is they usually will go too narrow with the audience targeting that they are using on Facebook ads. Let me explain. On Facebook, you can target a specific area or demographic or interest, right, using the Facebook targeting. And a lot of the times, a lot of landscapers will load up that targeting with all sorts of interests, right? So an interest in gardening and home renovation, in backyard design, et cetera, et cetera. And so they will create a very narrow audience. They'll put the age to be, someone who's like 30 to 40 years old and only a woman, and targeting these really specific interests. And what happens when you do that is you create too narrow of an audience, it's called, to be able to get enough results from. Because if we think about it, basically what we're doing here is we are defining an audience that we want to show our ads to, right? And so if that audience is not large enough, then what's going to happen is it will not be able to sustain the campaign because there are only so many people who fit that exact criteria. And so you're going to run out of leads, or your cost per lead is going to get expensive, or you're just going to start getting bad leads because Facebook's not going to know how to send you the ones that you're looking for because you're just going too narrow. On the other end too, you could also go too broad. So you can target a huge population with no real targeting at all. And what's going to happen is you will get leads, but typically you're going to drown out a little bit in the sea of all the other things that are happening. And so you want to have the perfect middle. And so what I've found is that the perfect middle, especially for your targeting there, is you don't want to have anything less than 150,000 people in your audience. And even that is the bare minimum that I would recommend. Typically, an ideal kind of range would be like 300 to 600,000 in the audience targeting. So when you're setting up your Facebook ads and you're looking at the audience, Facebook will actually have like a little barometer there, and it will tell you like, hey, this audience is very narrow, this audience is very broad. So I recommend to be somewhere in the middle of that. And so I would recommend no less than 150,000 people that you're going to be reaching with this audience, because if it's less than that, you're going to struggle to get the critical mass that you need to be able to really sustain the campaign going forward. So that's the first mistake. The second mistake is that a lot of landscapers will only target like one type of targeting. So for example, they'll only do a broad targeting campaign where they're doing age 30 to 65, targeting men and women, and a specific location. So that would be what I would call broad targeting. And their entire campaign will just be using broad targeting. And that's the wrong way to go about this, because even though you're probably getting some results on just using broad targeting, you could also be testing interest-based targeting, and you could be doing a lookalike audience as well on top of that. And I have another video on this channel actually that goes into lookalike audiences, and you can check that out and see like how to set that up. But anytime that you are running Facebook ads, you should be testing multiple different interest targeting and targeting in general to be able to split test and see which one is actually working best. Because if you have one type of targeting that's working, that's great, but you want to be able to have multiple different forms of targeting to see what's going to work the best for you. I'll give you an example, is that we were running a broad targeting campaign for a client, and it was working well. It was getting really good results, typically around like $25 per lead. And then what happened though is we introduced interest-based targeting, where we just put on top of the broad targeting, we just put a simple interest in home renovations on top of what we were doing. And we did a split test. Guess what? We were able to cut the cost per lead by about $5 just by doing that, with no impact on the quality of the leads or anything like that. So this is an example of how, if you are testing different forms of targeting, whether it's broad targeting or interest targeting or lookalike audiences, you can definitely drive down the cost of your leads, and that is going to make your campaign more profitable. So do not only test one form of targeting, you should be testing multiple forms of targeting. Okay, number 3 is a big mistake that I see a lot. And this is where basically, where you're saying, oh, my leads are out of service or they're all the way over in this other state. While from time to time, you will just get some leads that are going to be out of service here and there. That's just kind of the nature of the beast using Facebook ads. Not all of them should be that case. And so sometimes we'll see where a landscaper will tell us like, hey, I'm running Facebook ads and I'm getting leads like over here or over there, like way out of the service area. And it's like very consistently happening. There's a couple different mistakes that are going on there, but the main one is that you probably have something called Advantage Plus engaged on your Facebook targeting. So this is like a setting that you can check, and it comes like pre-checked when you are setting up your Facebook ads. And basically what Advantage Plus is it gives Facebook permission to go and find leads elsewhere. So it'll kind of like adjust your radius and adjust your settings to be able to get more leads at a cheaper price. Now, obviously, this is not really helpful to you, because if you only service people in a specific area, then getting someone outside of that service area isn't helpful anyway. So what I recommend is you definitely do not want to use something called Advantage Plus. You want to uncheck that. Anytime basically that Facebook is like saying something's like an advantage or enhancement or optimized, or they recommend something, from my experience, typically from a targeting perspective, it's not in your best interest. It's typically to get more leads that are kind of like not really in the interest-based or in the location that you're really looking for. So uncheck Advantage Plus, don't do that. And also what I would recommend for the targeting for your location is that you shouldn't just do like a radius around your area and do like, so let's say you live in Toronto, Canada. You wouldn't just type in Toronto and like target all of Toronto. What I recommend to do is target specific zip codes within that. So break it down within the zip codes. This is called granular targeting. So you want to do all your targeting based off of zip codes and just list them all out. The advantage to this is that you're going to be able to see what zip codes are working and what ones aren't. And then you'll be able to actually cut the zip codes that you don't want at any point in this campaign, right? So you're a lot more detailed and more precise with the location targeting that you're actually doing when you're doing that. And this is going to get you a lot less leads out of service. And it's also going to make your campaign more profitable, because you're going to realize that there are certain pockets of where you're located that are responding to your ads more, and then there's others that aren't. So definitely want to use granular targeting, and you want to avoid using Advantage Plus settings in your location settings. All right, number 4 is not having any remarketing set up in your targeting. The reason that this is so important is if you're spending all this money on the front end to be able to get people to see your ads, and they're visiting your website and they're clicking on your forms and stuff, then if they don't take that action, you're going to lose them, right? And so you're spending this money on the front end to be able to get these people to see your ads and all this stuff, but you're not following up with them using remarketing. I did a whole video about this that you can check out, and remarketing is something that every single landscaper should have in their Facebook ad strategy. And so remarketing is a great way to be able to lower your cost per lead, but also follow up with leads who have shown interest, and basically you just want to follow up with them and say, are you still interested in this? So not using remarketing is a huge mistake in 2025 when it comes to Facebook ads. All right, and then lastly, the 5th and final mistake of these top mistakes is going to be messing up your placements within targeting. So on Facebook, you can actually choose where your ads are showing up, and these are called placements. And again, something that's going to come pre-checked is something called the audience network on Facebook ads. What the audience network is are all these other little websites that Facebook owns and all these other like little partnerships that it has. And mostly it's garbage traffic. And so if you're paying for audience network targeting, you're typically bloating your cost per lead. And we find that they're ineffective. So really all we do for the placements is that you want to focus on news feeds in Facebook or Instagram, and you want to focus on reels on Facebook or Instagram. Those are the two placements that you're going to get the most bang for your buck that you should be focusing on. And I would exclude everything else, especially audience network, because that's going to bloat your cost per lead. And we just find that people don't convert in these places. So you're really just wasting money by focusing on those. So those are the top 5 mistakes that I often see landscapers make when it comes to setting up the targeting on their Facebook ads. If you fix these 5 things and you do all the things that I just said in this video, you're definitely going to get a lower cost per lead, a lot more leads come through, and your campaign's going to become a lot more profitable. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, as always, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It would help grow this channel. Give it a subscribe. And also, if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, if you want to just comment below and just say, hey, this video was helpful, or you want to ask a question, that helps to boost these videos up in the algorithm as well. And any questions or just comments or feedback, like I always welcome that. So comment below. And lastly, if you're watching this right now and you own a landscaping company and you're really looking to just take it to a next level in your business and just have our team come in and really crush it for you using Facebook ads, I'll put my link in the description. You can book a call with my team. Also, I have my phone number there. So if you have any questions, you can just text me at that number in the description there. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next video.